Today, on the 30th day of July 2024, we gather here for a truly special occasion, a milestone endorsed by the government of St. Lucia and brought to life through a fruitful public-private partnership with Fresh Start Construction. This collaboration is pivotal in addressing our housing deficit and enhancing the quality of life for our citizens. We find ourselves today in a beautiful community of Talvern, Babonueau, located in the heart of St. Lucia. This area, known for its lush landscapes and rolling hills, is geographically situated in the northern part of the island. Talvern's scenic topography and proximity to neighboring communities such as Foasso, Bogies, and Lague make it an ideal location for this new development. Talvern is also conveniently located near the scenic route to Dennery Village and the picturesque pathway to Grosile Town, providing easy access to these key areas. The presence of nearby rivers and the rich history embedded in the community further enhances its appeal. I am reminded today of a sentiment shared by Mr. Peter Felicien, the director of Fresh Start Construction, who aptly said, "Welcome to the marriage." This metaphor beautifully captures the essence of our collaboration. Like a well-coordinated partnership, our collaboration is built on mutual respect, shared goals, and the commitment to work through challenges with understanding and amicability. The sentiment underscores the importance of collaboration in achieving our common objectives. In a world where conflicting interests often impede progress, the ability to resolve differences amicably is paramount. It reflects a maturity and wisdom that transcends individual interests for the greater good. Today, we present 73 fully serviced lots, offering to the people of St. Lucia an opportunity to own a piece of their own. For those who find this development out of reach, rest assured that we are committed to targeting different market segments and rationalizing other NHC-owned properties. Our goal is to ensure that every segment of the market can benefit from the National Housing Corporation initiatives. At this juncture, I must extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Minister of Housing and At this juncture, I would like to extend gratitude to the Ministry of Housing and Local Government, Honorable Richard Frederick. His leadership at the helm of NHC has been instrumental in transforming this organization into a thriving statutory organization. His vision for a stronger, more efficient organization has guided us through significant reforms and strategic initiatives. Under his leadership, the NHC has adopted innovative practices, streamlined operations, and strengthened its financial foundations. Equally deserving of our deepest appreciation is our chairman, Mr. John Peters. His efforts has been instrumental in making this development a reality. Mr. Peters' strategic vision, coupled with his tireless dedication and profound understanding of the housing sector, has propelled this project from conception to fruition. His leadership has been pivotal in navigating the complexities of this undertaking, ensuring that all stakeholders remain aligned and focused on our collective goal. Mr. Peters embodies the spirit of innovation and resilience that drives the NHC forward, and his contribution and that of the board have been very invaluable to our success. The partnership with our financial institutions are a cornerstone for this success as well, and mark a historic milestone, as it is the first time in the lifetime of the NHC that such collaborations have been established. These partnerships have far-reaching impacts, not just for the NHC, but for the public at large. By working closely with our financial institutions, we have been able to offer financing solutions that home ownership and make home ownership more accessible and affordable. These partnerships provide prospective home owners with various options like competitive interest rates, flexible repayment terms, and ensuring that more St. Lucians can achieve their dream of home ownership. Moreover, the involvement of financial institutions has introduced an element of financial literacy to our community. Homeowners can receive guidance and support throughout the financing process, empowering them to make informed decisions about their investments. This education is invaluable and fosters a more financially savvy population and promotes economic stability within our economies and communities. Talvern, with its strategic location and rich natural beauty, is more than just a site for development. It is a community with a rich history and a vibrant future. The nearby rivers not only add to the scenic beauty, but also highlight the environmental richness of the region. The history of Talvern, intertwined with the broader narrative of St. Lucia, provides a cultural depth that we are proud to honor and build upon at the NHC. I would like to commend the tireless efforts of the project unit and the dedicated staff of NHC. Your work and dedication has made this day possible. As we celebrate today and have this open house, we look forward to the positive impact it will have on our community. This is more than just a development. It is a step towards brighter, more inclusive future for all St. Lucians. Thank you for being there, and let us continue together to work to build a brighter future. Thank you.
But we thank the Lord for giving us the opportunity to participate in the development of the local housing sector through this Talvern project. As is the case with all projects, this one has had its challenges, especially the stoppage of work. But as business people, having already invested in the project, we simply desire to successfully complete it, get a return on our investment, and give our people the opportunity to own their own homes. And so we focused on collaboratively interacting with the NHC to address mutual concerns. The fact that we are here today is evidence that our Lord and our Savior, Jesus Christ, answers prayers. Give him praise. Give him praise. Established in 2010, Fresh Start Construction Company Limited is the youngest addition to the Hippolyte Group of companies, founded by Mr. Urance, very well known as Beige Hippolyte, over 30 years ago. His children are integrally involved in the operation of the company, with his son Peter Felicien serving as managing director. We are a 100% local company, and from the time the Hippolyte Group was established in 1999, it has been and continues to be a major player in the transportation, heavy equipment, and construction sectors in St. Lucia. All of our business activities and resources support the development of the local economy. Fresh Start is primarily involved in public and private sector development, and over the years we have constructed roads, walls, bridges, drains, and buildings right around this nation. In 2016, a collaboration between our company and the NHC yielded the successful 65-lot forestier housing development project covering 15 acres. The project was completed in June 2017 within the contracted period of 8 months. A taking over certificate for the project has been issued by the Ministry of Infrastructure. In 2019, we completed a 14-acre housing development in Bosham Miku for Invest St. Lucia, which yielded around 60 lots. Currently, we are fully engaged in executing a number of projects that cater to the needs of the middle and upper income segments of the local housing market. In addition to this Talvern project, which comprises 28.44 acres and is expected to yield 140 service lots ranging from 5,000 to 7,000 square feet, we are executing the following projects. A 26-acre land development at Babonueau, which is expected to yield 210 residential lots. At Shock, a 92-acre development that is expected to yield around 226 residential and 50 commercial lots. At Moshi, development of just over 22 acres into 80 residential lots, ranging from 10,000 to 14,000 square feet. And an exciting townhouse development at Hill 20 Babonueau, not far from here, involving the construction of 27 two-story, two-bedroom units. Now, a national needs assessment estimated the housing deficit in 2014 in St. Lucia at 11,000. 11,400 units. The minister is updating me now. It's now 14,000 units. Because my notes say I wonder what it is now. We have a big challenge in St. Lucia in terms of meeting the national demand for affordable housing, for which raw residential land is available. Many housing developments around St. Lucia are characterized by poor infrastructure. The continued deterioration of roads in these developments especially further disrupts the harmony residents expect to enjoy from possibly the largest investments of their lives, building their own homes. Reasons range from poor project management and inadequate financing to high construction costs and inefficient construction methods, giving rise to poor infrastructure and high property prices of between $18 and $20 per square foot. These prices are not affordable for many St. Lucians, you will agree. So we have a problem. Our people need affordable housing, but satisfying this basic human need is a real and seemingly daunting challenge. It is also important to note that land development and large-scale construction projects are very expensive, involving the outlay of millions of dollars upfront, which are recovered sometimes over protracted periods. What we have at Fresh Start have learned over the years is that developers must have access to and cost-effectively utilize adequate financial, management, technical, and equipment resources. Due to the quality of the infrastructure of our land development projects, they have all been officially taken over by the Ministry of Infrastructure, and that's not the case with many other land development projects. So with all of the challenges in land development, you would want to know how we do it, right? You're very curious. Now, you have to start with the end in mind. It is very important that every business has a clear strategy, a strong corporate culture, an execution mindset, and adequate resources to successfully achieve its objectives. At Fresh Start, 4 fundamental principles guide the way we operate and help us successfully accomplish our endeavors. Firstly, since giving his heart to the Lord in 2008, Peter Felicia, the managing director of the company, lives and manages the company by strong Christian principles and values. We work very closely together, but since I fell sick 4 years ago and I'm still recovering, he has to carry that burden many occasions by himself. Fresh Start was established in 2010 because of Peter's total adoption of his new Christian lifestyle. You can say the two of us are madmen for God. As a result, the company consistently practices close collaboration with all parties, practices integrity, credibility, honesty, and always doing the right thing in our day-to-day operations. Secondly, we develop and leverage strong partnerships. Now I want to spend just a little time here, I crave your indulgence, because by God's grace, we obtain local private financing for all of our projects from Total Construction Supplies Limited, our lead financier and supplier of a wide range of construction projects, for which we are extremely grateful. It is also through our association with Total Construction that Cemex, one of the largest cement companies in the entire world, by way of the Trinidadian subsidiary TCL, has been providing us with excellent technical advice and guidance and world-class cement and cement products to enhance the quality of the concrete we produce. Now, this support is significant because, as I stated before, such projects, large-scale construction projects, are very expensive. And there seems to be a perception that large local development projects are possible only through external financing. In our case, the total value of financing arrangements, supplies of construction materials, trucking and equipment services from solely local sources total in excess of $100 million. Based on our experience and in-depth knowledge of the local construction market, we are confident that it is possible to obtain financing of up to $200 million locally. This is because support is available from all players in the construction sector, even building contractors themselves. You might want to think that in this very competitive environment that construction companies do not work together. We collaborate with them very closely and we support each other. In addition to the critical assistance provided by Total Construction Supplies, we are very appreciative of the fantastic support we are receiving from our local partners like M&C, Caribbean Metals, Bryson Company, Johnson's, Fred's Lumber, Wizo, Radiator and Hose Works, truckers and heavy equipment suppliers, and subcontractors. Without their support, we would not have been able to accomplish our objectives. Thirdly, we practice strong, agile resource management. We do this by sharing project work among local subcontractors. We train a lot of construction workers and eventually they migrate to become well-qualified, well-experienced, well-capable subcontractors. We share project work among local technical resource providers and truckers. And we work very closely with the trucking sector. We closely monitor, and now that is where we make them become more efficient. We closely monitor and manage their performance to optimize efficiencies and to achieve consistent output and quality. We also hire workers from the communities where we operate. Fourthly, we leverage very competitive construction solutions and project packages and deliver projects successfully. Our diverse partnerships and range of heavy equipment resources enable us to provide design, finance, construct packages for all types of projects. And as I close, we at First Start thank the NSC and by extension the government of St. Lucia for continuing this worthwhile partnership. I want to say special thanks also to our hardworking and dedicated First Start employees and our other partners. Now, as I was telling you, I am not in the best of health. But coming here today gives me great pleasure because of the spirit with which we have engaged with the NHC and how they have reciprocated. And so I have not been able to be an integral part of the negotiations and the discussions, but I know we are united and the goal that we are aiming to, because of the spirit with which we are working together, we will achieve our goal. By the grace of the living God and using the skills and resources with which He has blessed us, we are very confident that this project will be completed by December this year. Through Talvern and all our other projects, we look forward to continuing to contribute to the growth of the national housing stock. To God be the glory, great things He has done. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
Some 41 years ago, and we saw a long time, as a young civil engineer coming out of university at the age of 21, so I'm telling you my age immediately, I was thrust into one of the largest housing projects in Trinidad at that time, where we were building 3,500 houses. And as a young engineer, I was told to do in 6 months the infrastructure that would have been required to finish the project. A project that was going on for 2.5 years, and they wanted the infrastructure finished in 6 months. I learned then that you can work at 11 o'clock in the night and get up 5 next morning and go back out to work at that point in time. So it was a good experience in shaping who I am as a civil engineer back then. But it also allowed me an opportunity to see how transformative housing can be in a society. And some 30 years ago, I was afforded the opportunity to be head of the then Housing and Urban Development Corporation in 1995, and we were able to do a significant amount of work in that 2-year period from 95 to 97. Projects like Carolee was completed, Bonte Gardens, Postlewaite, Monet Phase 1, Monet Phase 2. We did 300 houses and probably about 500 service lots in 2 years. And some of the people that are here from the National Housing Corporation under the new name are still here, those that were with me some 30 years ago. So housing has always been something that has been very dear to my heart as a professional. And when I was asked to take up this role as chairmanship by the minister, I readily accepted it because of the natural love that I have for housing and how I have seen people and their lives transformed when they receive for the first time their keys to their new home. That drove the negotiation process. As you know, it's a fact that this project was stalled for a considerable amount of time, and in taking a page from Mr. Lake's engagement in the scriptures, part of the scripture says, in all things give thanks. And I want to thank specifically Fresh Start and specifically Mr. Peter Felician, that we had some very tough negotiations to come to an agreement to restart this project. But I believe that what we have now is an agreement that is in fact enhanced and is in the benefit of both parties. I also want to thank the project unit and notably Mr. Didas Fede for having this open day today and engaging the various financial institutions. Back then in 1995, I believe the credit unions were not as advanced as they are at this point in time. So mainly the banks were involved with the National Housing Corporation. I remember CIBC was our banker back then. Many of the loans were taken in Bank of St. Lucia. The St. Lucia Development Bank was very much involved. Also the First National. And Republic Bank was the bank, they were then in Grenada, and they assisted us greatly in providing funding to construct 100 houses at Carolee. So I want to thank all of them here this morning for being part of this open day. We have had some very good discussions with them to ensure that every person who purchases a lot here, there is an incentive that we have managed to arrange with every one of them. So whether you are with the credit union, whether you're with the traditional banks, if you go to them, we have already had significant discussions with them. We have already established MOUs with them so that you can get good rates and some waivers on their bank charges. So we believe that once you come to us as a client, we are with you till the end. So we want to support you in your application of the loan. We want to support you afterwards. And some of the things that we're looking at is the possibility of having some pre-approved plans that are available to you. We will develop the design, we'll make the plans available to you at no cost, and you can initiate the start of your home. There's also, one of the things I know in the construction sector is that you have some, while Mr. Lucia Lake spoke of the good contractors that his company is, there are also some rogues that are out there. A better word is scamps that are out there in the construction sector. That's a fact. And it is therefore important that you have a proper contract, a contractual arrangement with your proposed contractor. And I happen to have some expertise in construction law, and the plan is also that we would assist you in developing of a model contract, so at least your interests are protected during the construction phase. What we're doing here in this development and in shop development, it may be difficult to understand the connectivity between the two. But there's a modern concept of a 15-minute city that is being proposed now by urban planners. And it means that within 15 minutes, you should be able to shop, you should be able to go to work, you should be able to go to school. And in the conceptualization of this project, what we intend to do also is to have commercial spaces available so that you can start maybe a small or medium-sized grocery within the community. The intent is also that we will have one of the lots available for institutional use, so maybe a preschool maybe situated within the community that will help in that integration and that creation of the 15-minute city. What SHOC does, it also allows us an opportunity to link the two developments together. So in the SHOC development, one of the things that we are considering is expansion of the commercial space down there, probably have the possibility of government moving some of the departments into SHOC, and therefore creating employment centers within that 15-minute space. So you can be living in Talvern and working in SHOC and going to school at the Cassius Comprehensive, leave your daughter or your son in the preschool in Talvern. And that sort of concept of how we can structure our developments and create that 15-minute city is some of the things that we want to explore in both the Talvern and the SHOC developments, and to create that connectivity. So you'll hear more from us in that regard. I also want to thank my directors who have been working with us in pushing the agenda of the National Housing Corporation. My dear Managing Director, Sidonia, who has been to our strength within the organization. And obviously I want to thank all of you for coming here this morning and to providing the support that is required for us to continue this journey into the development of the housing sector in St. Lucia. So I do thank you. I know my minister is going to give you, my minister and representative of Babonueau will give you a historical perspective, because I think history is important. And you need to understand why we are here today and how we are here today. So I will leave the historical storytelling to her, and I'm sure that she will give us an understanding of how we are here this morning. And as Mr. Lake said, the intention is to be completed by the end of the year, early January. We would have your lots available to you. We also have, one of the lots is dedicated for a water storage tank. So we want to ensure that you have proper water supply. The roads will be concrete roads, so we'll have good infrastructure. And as you see, it's a beautiful site, and I really hope those who do engage us and do take one of those lots, that you have indeed a wonderful experience living in Talvern. So I thank you for coming here this morning, and Mr. Saltibus, back over to you.
Today is a historic moment for Babonueau. I keep hearing the development of Talvern, but Babonueau is the genesis, and this is just one of the small communities in Babonueau. And this project, as the chairman of the board did indicate, this project actually started about 10 years ago. And at that time, I was chairperson of the Babonueau Constituency Council. And there was a developer who was approached to start this project. So identifying this land as a possibility for housing project started about 10 years ago. And the rest is history. So we are in the process of creating part of that history today. That was during 2014-15 when we decided to identify, we used to call it the Paris land. It's a very large area, and Talvern here is part of that large estate. And we said, let us do a housing project in this area. And it did not materialize the way it was conceptualized. There was another phase which started under the last administration, and it did not materialize as conceptualized. And this one is the third phase of this project. But I'm very pleased to see the gathering here today, in that I think this is supposed to be the last lap, so that we get this project moving according to the pronouncements coming from Mr. Lake and the history of his company, that they are there to deliver. At the time we started this project, Honorable Alvina Reynolds was the parliamentary rep for Babonueau. And I remember this guy, Shazi Shalon. He was the one who identified the initial developer for this project. And we actually signed an agreement at the constituency office in Babonueau to start this project. So now we are moving into a new phase. And any housing project in a constituency is one where we will see a change in the demographic, a change in culture, and the population will change. So we have to prepare ourselves for this change. It's not just about nice houses and beautiful houses, but how it impacts the community. And Babonueau is a huge constituency. I'm hoping that the project in its manifestation will create opportunities for people living in Babonueau to benefit from this project, and we're encouraging them to come forward. I'm also hoping that it creates opportunities for employment, because we have a challenge for employment for people in the Babonueau constituency, Talvern, Fontaine area. So I'm going to keep a keen eye in that direction as parliamentary rep. According to my fellow colleagues in cabinet, before we were ministers, we were politicians. And politicians have a different way of looking at things to professionals and persons who do their normal duties. I embrace this project fully, and I think the people who will be residing in this area will benefit from something that I have coined in Babonueau called the sleeping giant. And I'm sure you have not taken time out to look at it. But it's when you get your regular showers, you will understand the work of the sleeping giant. And that is the mountain up there, La Saucier. And when you go up on the hill, especially by the Babonueau Multipurpose Center, you would have seen that mountain depicts the head of a human being lying on her back. You can see the forehead, you can see the nose, you can see the mouth, right there on this mountain. So when you find a little time, just have a look. So you will have the view of the sleeping giant. And this mountain used to be the mountain that produced water for the northern part of St. Lucia. And everybody asks, how did we get our name? Babonueau. Babonueau means Babonueau, a ridge of good water. Before there was the John Compton Dam and pumping water into Babonueau, Babonueau used to supply the whole north of the island. The water was coming from the Talvern water system and would supply Castries and all the environs. Now, because of climate change, we are seeing that there is a shortage of water, not just in Babonueau, but throughout the island. However, with development, I'm very happy that the developer said that they are going to build a water reserve, because that puts pressure on the water supply. Because of additional population, additional houses, then as a parliamentary rep, you have a bigger challenge to ensure that your constituents have at least water, electricity, and it will put some pressure on our roads too, because there will be a lot more traffic and moving up and down in this area. So you know, I am in the middle of the frying pan. So I need to encourage the developers. I need to encourage NHC to work with the community to have a buy-in into the project, so they take ownership of the project, they feel it's part, welcome the people who come to reside in Babonueau, and let them integrate so that we can further advance Babonueau. I did hear the chair spoke of the 15 minutes shop connectivity. And we have to work together because I just want to share, and the minister is right here. I have whispered it to him, and I think he will buy into it, that we have plans to upgrade Babonueau to a town or a village. And the reason I say that, we look at the towns and villages in St. Lucia, and Babonueau has mostly all the facilities that you find in a town or a village in St. Lucia. We have our police station, we have our fire station, the Catholic Church is our cathedral, there is a primary school, there is a secondary school, we have a health center, we can upgrade it to a polyclinic, we have the community center which we will upgrade into government administrative center, and we are going to bring in business. And when I look at this area here, I don't know if the developers have seen it, but I can share it here. There are 3 areas or points of entry we can create to that development. It's already existing, but you just have to enhance the road. So it is not a bottleneck to get into this place as we drove in. There is a point of connectivity that's coming straight from Babonueau, and there is one that is coming from this direction called Tishime. So you can exit and enter this area from 3 different points. So, and because Babonueau Central does not have much scope for expansion, we are hoping that the Babonueau town or village is expanding into this area. So we are also looking at other recreational facilities for social development in the community. It's not just a place where you have houses and people are living, but there are other facilities that they'll need, and as parliamentary rep, working together, we can provide these facilities. So that is going to be a very good development for Babonueau. We are looking for land for other things, and we know it is a massive piece of land. We will explore the other facilities where we can put them. There is also a very important point that I discussed with the minister, but I will leave it to him to make that announcement. I will not say it yet because we have one additional component to add to this development, and I would prefer the minister to take the bait and let him be the one to announce that. But all in all, I believe it's a very good initiative, and as the parliamentary rep for Babonueau, we look forward to the development of this project. I will give it all my support, and I will mobilize my community to buy into the project. The great thing that have happened is that we took care of the residents in this area even before this project, phase 3, started. We promised the people who are already residing on part of the land that government would give it to them at a reasonable cost. And fortunately for us, the minister did agree and took it to cabinet. And we agreed to sell the land to the people who have been living in this area for over 30 years, that they got that land for $2.50 a square foot. That's how we put people first. That's a government that put the people first. We cannot deny the people the opportunity to own the property where they have lived for 30 years and take them out and put people who come in and make them feel inferior or not wanted. And I think the people in Talvern have appreciated that. I'm going to work with them so that they can get the deed. The land has already been surveyed by NHC, and we are going to work with them so that they can coexist with our new arrivals. I thank you very much for inviting me to address you, and let us make this a very successful project. I thank you.
It's not normal that you start any kind of delivery with a thank you note. Whilst I will thank the others after, I think it would be remiss of me not to thank Mr. Didas Fidi. Folks, sometimes we have the expertise right among us. And we attempt to undermine the expertise that we have among us and seek outside for what we have within. When Didas Fede joined the NHC, just like he organized this event, and put your hands together again for him. He's the organizer of this event. I see hundreds of vehicles. I see almost 1,000 people here, if not more. It speaks definitely to the success of this event. At NHC, we decided that we were looking for partnerships, looking for investors, and by the same token, he hosted an investor conference. You will not believe that there was one company that could not have made it. It's the 75th biggest company in the world, the Atlas Group. He organized it, they could not make it. They asked for special dispensation. Some persons were hesitant, and because the CEO of Atlas realized they were hesitant, he said, Mr. Minister, I want to fly any amount of you to Algeria to see what we stand for. And about 10 of us or thereabout were flown to Algeria at his expense, stayed in hotel at his expense, did everything at his expense. And he took us to 2 or 3 sites. One was a stadium he was building with a capacity of 75,000. He had over 2,000 workers on the site that day. Then he was building a state-of-the-art hospital. He took us there. He had over 1,000 workers there. And then he took us to a housing site where they were building 6 high-rise simultaneously. And so I was convinced. I invited him here. The good news is he has already bought Caribbean Jewel Hotel, and construction and refurbishment on Caribbean Hotel has started, and it started all because Didas planted the initial seed. So sometimes that is what you need. That is what you need. So I want to thank you, Didas. I also want to thank the new kid on the block insofar as television is concerned, WeTV. You know, WeTV, they had a child on the block. But we are live on television thanks to WeTV. Madam Virginia Poyot, I say pressure. It is here now. You know, folks, sometimes we sit, we get things done. I had to push it, but Virginia did not play with me. It was like a yeah in my ear. Hurry up, where are you now? Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. So I want to thank you, Virginia, for pushing me, and I had to push my chairman and board members, and so we are here to make things happen. I don't want to go into the details of the project. There is much more to tell you, but upon completion, you will see very nice concrete roads, nice concrete drains. Here will definitely be somewhere that the average person would like to live. No one has disclosed the price yet, because under the law, the National Housing Cooperation Act gives the minister the authority to determine the price at which assets of the authority are sold. But even if we have a habit in cabinet, even if the authority is given to any given minister, we do not do it on our own. We indulge the entirety of cabinet. So that when I appointed the board of NHC, the act clearly says the minister. But I can tell you, none of us do that alone. Our colleagues participate in every decision, notwithstanding it falls under the purview of any one minister. And so on Monday, last week Monday, we were discussing the price per square foot of the lots here. And then we had a revaluation upon completion, and they said, look, man, this land can go for 17, 18. And my prime minister immediately opened his mouth. He said, Mr. Minister, what are your thoughts? I said I was thinking 16, Mr. Prime Minister. He said, no, go lower, and whatever you lose, I will give it back to you because we have to empower our people. And so we decided that the cost per square foot would be only $14.50. And I want you to thank the Honorable Philip Joseph Pierre for that. Folks, it is about empowering people. It is about giving people a piece of St. Lucia. And I can tell you, ever since I was installed as minister with that responsibility, we have done quite a lot, and I will name a few for you. In Soufrière, there were some people in Moka living in houses that the NHC had sold to them. And what the government had done was to capitalize a credit union and to tell the credit union, please do some on-lending to our people at concessionary rates. I could tell you the district rep for Soufrière was extremely persistent, and she asked government to forgive the entire debt that the credit union owed us. Cabinet agreed, and not too long ago, we handed over a number of deeds to the people of Soufrière for house and land debt-free. Give her a round of applause. Now, lending institutions, you all heard the price. You all can give people 100% financing because of the value, they would have a lot of equity. Okay? Good. Then we had a situation in Wishbois, Tiroche. Came in, everybody always want to do things, but they don't get it done. We moved in immediately, and I'm happy to report that we have 44 lots developed in Wishbois, and the area looks just like a concrete road, nice drains, and guess what? There were 12 persons we found on the land for over 25 years. I took the decision endorsed by my cabinet that we are giving them those 12 lots totally free of charge. Across the length and breadth of St. Lucia under the PROUD program, we have delivered at least 200 deeds of sale for people who got land at $1 and $2. They go in on government land, we come in, we rationalize it. Sometimes surveying is extremely difficult because of the sporadic manner in which persons settle and build. You cannot survey for any long distance if there isn't a house running across the line. It makes it difficult. But we have done it. But a couple weeks ago, I was extremely heartened when a lady who had worked with the Vieux-Fort Town Council for over 30 years, she went to collect her deed and she began crying and she said, "Bode we deme, jodia mweni ochote, ek mweni vant mwe puchote." Folks, that is the source of empowerment that I want every St. Lucian to enjoy. I want every St. Lucian to enjoy that kind of empowerment. We had 16 lots in Tuya. Madam MD, all gone already. By a blink of an eye, the 16 lots in Tuya were gone. Persons made deposits almost immediately. Almost immediately. Here, there was a lady we had to move. I am pleased to inform you that we already have a prefab house for that lady. When she's removed from the lot, she's not left in destitution, but we shall replace her in a newly built prefabricated house that we will be erecting for her. In Bel Air, that is the next big development I see. We will be going down to Bel Air. In Angers, Miku, we're already there. The surveyors have surveyed over 100 lots, am I right? Over 100 lots we have done in Angers de Risseau for construction. Bele will have 500 lots. So it's about empowering our people, ladies and gentlemen. But closer to home, in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we shall commence the construction of 5 buildings, each of which contain 15 condominiums. And not because you heard the word condominium mean it's not for St. Lucian. It is meant only for St. Lucians. And guess what? We will be building, sadly, I didn't say this, but sadly, when we do developments like this, we need to get flat land if we were to engage in construction. The reason being, because of the shortage of housing, 14,000, and the topography of our land, we need to start going up. And in Casaba, we will be building 3-story buildings. Like I said, each of them with 15 condos, not too far from the beach, not too far from Cotton Bay, not too far from Cabot. And the government has taken the decision that whatever we sell it at, it shall not include the price of the land. We are giving St. Lucians the land as a way of our contribution to their empowerment. So, Madam Virginia has asked that we replicate this concept within the confines of Talvern or Babonueau. I am pleased to inform you, we will try our best, we will sit at a board, as a board, because this place still has, we have 73 service lots now, but there is still land that we can replicate 1 or 2 of those buildings in this area for the benefit of the people of Babonueau. It is something we will take on board. So ladies and gentlemen, it's about empowering people. Sadly, there are only 73 lots available at this time. There will be more, and I rather see those 73 lots being sold out today, given the location and the price. It took a lot of arguing sometimes. It took giving and taking. It took an understanding. But whatever it took, we are here today, and that is in the best interest of St. Lucia and St. Lucians. So I want to thank all the players, Fresh Start, Peter Felicia, even his dad, Mr. Lake. I want to thank my chairman. And let me go further. I will even further swallow my vomit when it comes to the shop development, because Fresh Start is going to do the shop development. So if it's vomit I'm swallowing, I just start to swallow. If it's cry, they cry, they just start to cry. So I want to thank all the players. I want to thank Fresh Start. I want to thank Mr. Lake, Mr. Felicia, Mr. Hippolyte. I want to thank immensely my chairman. And my chairman, I'm asking you publicly to ensure you expedite the approval of shop, so as soon as they leave here, they embark upon the finishing of the shop development. There we have 89 acres, 200 and something residential lots. We have commercial lots as well. This will be a community in its entirety. That is how we are doing it. So like I said, negotiations were tough, but we are here. I want to thank everybody, all the players, my MD, my chairman, Micah, everybody. First, the Shahida, my PS, all those persons who came together to make this thing happen. Not for me, not for themselves, but for the good people of St. Lucia. I thank you.